Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Ladies, understand something. The top end of a woman's weight is 145 pounds. Okay. My mother's 5'9", and she was 145 pounds until she was 50. That's the top end of your weight, because there should be about a 40-pound difference between you and men.
Basically, if the guy is rich, what ends up happening is the lawyer contacts the person and be like, hey, you know, your name gonna be all in the paper, so you might as well just settle out of court.
I can recognize talent. Even if I don't agree with the politics, a lot of the politics that was underlying in the show and some of the sentiments he was trying to share, I recognize artistry when an artist is present.
Yes, this is the definition of absolutely cooked. We'll never go back and take a look at her bad decision and take accountability for any of that.
Because there is powerful people in the industry, somehow there is a different law that applies to them. And I agree with that assessment.
What up, YouTube, Twitter, IG, Facebook, Twitch. What's good? Happy Friday, man. We here, we live, and we're gonna tear up the interwebs this weekend. How you feeling? Peace, praise, glory, and honor to the Most High. Do me a solid. Let the people know we live. Like, share, repost. It's time to have that talk again. You already know what it is. You see the title. I got Sydney in the building. It's been a long week. And we're going to close this one out special. Good energy. Have some adult conversation. Everybody's voice matters. I want to hear your opinions, your thoughts. So please, if you have anything that you would like to share in duration of this show, please leave a comment. Join us live over here on YouTube. Wherever you are, I am just grateful to have you here in the building with us. Shout out to Jenny. I see you. As always, I am humbled by your presence. Yes, I have a fixation with shades, personality glasses. I don't need any glasses. I don't wear prescriptions or nothing. I just like to wear different things. I'm unique like that. You know what I'm saying? But you know why we're here. You see the title. I'm going to bring Sydney up. Do me a solid, Miss Linguist, if you would. Let the people know who you are, what you got going on with your everything, anything that you want to share with them. And yeah, let's do this thing, man. I'm ready. Yeah, I show some love. All right.
Hello. Nice glasses.
Appreciate it.
Doing pretty good. We also have Carrot Head with us. She just woke up fresh from her nap, so she'll be hanging out with us during the session.
All right now.
Can I say hi?
I hope you slept well. I hope you slept well. Always good to see that face. Blessings to the family, you know. Let your peoples know. I send my thoughts and prayers with them, Miss Caroline and everybody in general, you know. I know we've talked about this before, but you know, as time progresses, and I love the toy. I absolutely love the toy.
And that cat has been. I got that when I was 2, so it's been around.
You know what? I do not have a single thing from my childhood. I did have one prize that I won from Six Flags. I think I was in like 5th, 6th grade. I don't know what happened to it. Matter of fact, you just triggered a memory. There was a stuffed animal that my mom had won for me. This was back in 2002, maybe even before that. And there was a little fair that was downtown, and it was like a little alien toy, and it meant a lot to me just because our relationship wasn't as strong then. So any little thing that she would get for me, it was always like it doubled in its significance. So I will always remember that. And now that I think about it, I'm gonna need that back. I'm gonna have to get that back. Long story. I won't go into that, but yeah. Diddy is about to go to trial. He's about to go to trial, and they've made a lot of arrangements. And on top of that, he actually denied the plea deal. I sent you the video. I don't know if you had a chance to watch it. I just wanted to give you a quick catch up on what I got from it, and kind of wanted to pick your brain on it based on what you've seen over the last, I don't know, couple weeks leading up to this video. What did you notice, or did you get a chance to actually watch? I know it was like a 25 to 30-minute video.
I haven't seen the video, but I have seen some of the articles as they've been coming up over the past, like, what has it been, 2-3 days? I did find it kind of interesting that they have an article dedicated to talking about what clothes he's going to be wearing, as if, you know, that matters. You know, after everything he's done, we totally care about what he looks like at his trial and what he's going to wear. I thought that was a bit indicative of the culture that we're living in today, where we're like, yeah, he committed all these weird crimes and he had thousands of gallons of lube in his house, but yeah, we want to know what suit he's wearing.
That part right there was hilarious. That was a part of the video. So for the people who are just pulling in, so there's a 30-minute video. They're pretty much telling you, look, we're not going to have cameras in the courtroom. There's not going to be any cameras in there. However, they do have a young lady that's going to be in the trial as it goes forward, and she's going to pretty much be the eyes and ears throughout the entire thing. she's going to come back and report to this particular channel, and they're going to give you all the coverage leading up to whatever decisions ultimately come from it. Insider, that's the name of the YouTube channel, Insider. So if you guys want like an expressive, detailed play-by-play, that's probably going to be the most accurate place to get that. Based on what I watched within that 30 minutes, they spoke on him denying the plea deal, which would have gave him a sentence. He would have went to jail, but he feels as if everything that is being brought against him, no, you're not going to do that to me, so we're just going to have to fight it out in court. So he's risking it all. He's not about to just sit and lay down and let them throw the book at him 100%. And I did a reaction video. So you have this ridiculous dress code. He gets to wear 5 different sweaters and different pairs of slacks. He can't wear shoes with shoestrings in them, and you got that ridiculous part. Then you have the part where they are looking at the jury, who is going to be sitting here throughout the duration of this trial. And what I thought was interesting about that was the way that they're going about vetting these people. I need to know y'all opinions. I have to know. So they're basically saying, look, we're not about to just send you a random letter in your mail and summon you. This ain't one of those court cases. This is a big one. Whether or not people really care or understand, this is not your regular, oh, they making me go in and I gotta take off work. It's not. This is not one of those. You know, Diddy has been under suspicions and been investigated for a very long time. This is one of the biggest cases that we've seen in a while. So the process, from what I understand, is not only are they looking at your demographic, they're looking at, do you have social media? They're looking at how much do you know about him? How much are you invested in his life? Are you on YouTube? Are you an influencer? Do you listen to rap? Do you have Twitter? Do you have Instagram? They're really going into a lot of different areas to pick out who's going to be a part of this. So, what do you think about the jury selection? First of all, how they're going about getting these people together for this. If you were in this position, you got this big case, you're the judge or prosecutor. How are you looking at the way that they're going about it? I mean, just off of your immediate thoughts, or how would you look at this?
It makes sense. I know just from my own minimal experience with how they pick juries, they are, I don't know what the right word is, like if it's a requirement or if they're just like heavily pushed towards it. But I know when you pick a jury, especially for somebody who's famous, your best efforts is to collect a jury that has never even heard of them before, has never seen him, didn't know he's on TV, didn't know anything about him, has never bought any of his products. So I guess it makes sense that they would be going this much into the jury selection, because I imagine with how bizarre, for lack of a better term, this whole case is. I imagine it's going to be very hard to find people that have not heard anything about this at all. So I feel like that's probably a portion of it, because I know that to maintain the person's dignity and the balance of the trial and stuff like that, they are required to find people that like don't have any connection to him, don't have any prior biases either direction. So they'll probably have to recruit a lot of people that don't use the internet and aren't on social media and aren't really well versed with him as a celebrity. And I remember this has happened before with other celebrities, and I have in the past found myself wondering, like, where are you going to find people that don't know this person? Some of the more high profile cases, I think Michael Jackson was one of them, where I was like, where are they going to find a jury that doesn't know who Michael Jackson is? They're literally going to have to go to like Amish country or something where they don't even have computers and have never seen a TV before. But yeah, I guess it makes sense that they would go into it. I wonder if there's a concern for mistrial, because of everything involved with his case, with all of the weird aspects to it, the high profile connections. I wonder if there's like security issues or other types of other things that they're not telling the public about, like possibly even a risk of danger. And that was kind of what I was thinking when you were mentioning the different things about his outfit, how they can't wear shoelaces and stuff like that. My guess is that just like with prisoners, it's so they can't hurt themselves. But I feel like it'd be kind of ridiculous for somebody to hang themselves in public by their shoelaces in front of everyone and actually get somewhere with that. So I can't imagine you'd be able to do much with your shoelaces. So besides that reason, I can't really think of any other reason they wouldn't allow him to have shoelaces. But yeah, I just from my expectations with how society is right now and how people recognize the public reacts in these types of situations, especially with somebody that's highly famous. I wonder if they're worried about some sort of interruption of some sort, of fans, of fellow celebrities, of people that also participated in illegal activities with him. I wonder if this case will be more interesting than it at face value appears it'll be. Like, they make it sound like, oh, it'll just be kind of a straightforward case, but I wonder if it'll turn out that way, or if the reputation will precede him and kind of complicate things just from the nature of what this is all about. So yeah, I definitely am curious how this will pan out. I'm also very curious what the jury will decide, because to me, just from what I know, the evidence seems pretty cut and dry. Like, I don't really know how else you could swing the evidence that he has in his house to be anything other than what everyone says is happening in that house. So I can't really see him getting away with it, but I don't know. He's rich, so if he does get away with it, that'll just be another indication that, I mean, if you're wealthy enough, you can do whatever you want. So it'll probably be pretty iconic.
One thing that I want to note to the people, the Cassie video, they have made an argument that the original video the raw footage from that accident or incident, whatever you want to call it. They're basically saying, look, this is not fair to my person, that you play something that can't be legitimately documented as solid evidence. The video has basically been chopped and screwed too much. It would be unconstitutional to utilize that and have it put or presented in a case where we don't really know if this is really going to. No, we can't do it. I think it would definitely be a disservice. It wouldn't be fair. It wouldn't be on even playing field. They used a bunch of lawyer phrases that I can't remember off the top of my head to basically say, look, based on such and such and code 20367 this would basically paint my defendant in a unflattering light, is not going to be 100% valuable. I ask that this does not get admitted. And my thing is, for one, let's say the video isn't the original footage. Everybody here has seen the video. Now, I ask you guys this question. Being as how we've all seen the video, if you were a juror and this video does not go to court, would this still have any effect on your judgment? I mean, he's basically being accused of trafficking and more. So do you consider this video footage, even though it's not admitted? Or do you completely dismiss that and then rely on the testimony that will come from anyone who decides to speak out on it and any future evidence that is allowed to be permitted? Does this have any effect to you on the case?
And this is why I would not be able to go into law. I would not be able to follow all of their rules. If I saw evidence, even if it wasn't admitted in court, I would still have that in my head. And I'd be like, yeah, no, I saw the video. I saw what you said. I don't care that it's not admitted. I don't believe you. So there's a reason why I am a mom and not a professional, because I would not be able to keep my private thoughts to myself. Yeah, I'm the type of person, I mean, you know me, I'm the same thing with science, where if I hear a theory, a philosophy, whatever, I'm going to investigate it from top to bottom. I'm going to know the history. I'm going to know who said it, when they said it, why they said it, who they said it to, what books they wrote, and what happened with the books and everything. Like, I'm going to find out. I'm going to do my research. And I mean, I love to make parallels. I love to make connections and like see where things fit together. So if I found some sort of video, if I found some sort of evidence that to me showed parts of him that they were not allowing to be shown in court, I would have been like, nope, I already see how this is going. This is a scam. This is a lie. You're trying to help him. I saw what I saw. I'm going with that. So, yeah, I've always found the whole process of law, like, obviously we want to respect it because we don't want to degrade the process of law and have it be, completely what's the word, like delegitimized, but at the same time, like sometimes they don't admit evidence for some really weird reasons. I've heard of cases where it wasn't admitted because the police officer didn't handle the evidence correctly, or they didn't write it down correctly, do the correct paperwork, or they didn't get a final, like both lawyers have to agree to use it. And if like there's so many different weird, arbitrary, like you can't use this thing because it was put in incorrectly, or somebody did it wrong, or it'll be seen this way, or we can't show it because then it'll affect their view of this person, and that won't be fair. And I don't know, I feel like they try and find ways to exclude the evidence that will nail their coffin out of the argument, like, oh, but this is what's the word that they use, the term, so not social suicide, where they like, oh, defamation of character, like, oh, that evidence is defamation of character, we can't make him look bad because he still owns a business, he still has a brand or whatever. Like I haven't heard this argument for him, but I've heard this for other people where they were highly rich, highly successful, they were professors, they were a person of power, and they're like, oh, well, we can't show this evidence because it's going to smear their name. So after the court case, they're not going to be able to go back to work like they could before. And I'm like, okay, if they were involved in something nefarious, why do you care about them smearing their name? They shouldn't have been involved in that in the first place. Like, it's their own fault. So I hope they don't do stuff like that where they're like, oh yeah, we have this great evidence, but because it could cause some issues and make him look bad, that we're not going to include that. We want to help him out a bit. Like, he was doing things to children. How can the evidence be rejected? Like, if you have things that point to those behaviors, objects that hint at certain activities or whatever, I mean, if the evidence is there, I would count them no matter what. Like, even if it got dismissed, I would have a really, really hard time discounting the evidence and be like, oh, okay, let me put that out of my mind and look at the other evidence that you'd have. I could not self-separate in my head.
Yeah, that's the crazy part. It's like you basically showing me crime committed, but you want me to forget that I just saw crimes committed. It's one of the things about the law and being a lawyer, or even being involved in that world, where it's like, if you studied, went to school for this for all of these years, you know all of these codes, all of these different loopholes, and it's like, how then can you objectively sit there and defend somebody that is clearly guilty, but you know that there are ways to get around getting somebody either a lesser sentence or getting them off completely? And it's usually because most folks don't know the law. They don't know all of the tricks and trades. No one really can tell you, oh, this says, well, by that, then you can do this. It's like someone just sat there and added stipulations as they got older and got wiser within the system. They just continuously brought things in to either benefit the rich or benefit the criminal. Or it's like, how do you really, you would have to be an extremely intelligent lawyer to know how to navigate this case, prove that, you know, y'all got to forget about this. Y'all didn't see Cassie getting dragged. You didn't see her getting assaulted by this man. That wasn't that video was chopped up. So what are you trying to tell me? Trying to tell me that essentially what happened was some extremist with very great editing skills took portions of different scenarios that has his physical person and her physical person on it. They photoshopped and edited this shit to make it look like this is what happened, and that's not even the real. Is that what you're trying to tell me? That this is just completely altered and manipulated? No one's buying that. Not a single soul that's watching or seen the video is buying that. They questioning the legitimacy behind the forensic videographer, of whether or not he's really the right person to do the job for determining if this is a valid video. And even if you want to throw that video away, you still got a mountain to climb, sir. A huge mountain to climb. They haven't even spoken on anything else. We haven't seen any leaked photos or videos or nothing about anything else. And like you said, I think Jenny said it too. There's been blackmail, blackballing, threats, all types of different things that's been going on over the years that's been documented. I don't know why criminals do that goofy stuff anyway. I guess it's like a trophy, or I guess that's you better not say nothing. If you say something, then I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. I guess
Fear
that's
or
what that is.
intimidation.
Right. It's I'm with you. I honestly, there's no way you're gonna put me in a like, I don't really give a shit about P. Diddy. I don't give a shit about no celebrities for real. I can be unbiased. That's not the problem. The problem is, how you gonna tell me I gotta forget about something that I saw? How do you not take that in consideration? Oh, just brush by it, and then nah, I'm with you. I couldn't do it. I couldn't. Are we not seeing what we just saw? Is now, here's the other part that I want to bring up too, because there's another argument that's being made, and essentially what his team is saying, right? They're basically saying he's psychologically not in the space. He's been under drugs and he's had all of this different crap happen to him that mentally he can't really help himself. He lost his mind. He, you know how people try to play the insanity. I lost my marbles. Oh, don't blame it on me. It's a condition. He's using that angle. And for the money that he's spending on this, and with them trying to associate tampering with evidence coupled with him having like this alleged psychological stuff happening, Do you think that shit is going to stick? Do you think they have any real argument for this?
Any argument for not using the evidence, or for what?
No, the argument that he's crazy, he lost his shit, that he has
yeah. They could try, but I don't think they'd get very far because of the evidence that they do have. I mean, at a certain point, like, crazy can only help you to a certain point. Like, it can help you if, like, you're a teenager that's been, like, abused by her parents, and so she killed her dad to escape the house, and so she's not going to get a murder charge because it was, like, self-defense and mental health and stuff like that. Or somebody who like, legitimately schizophrenia, hears voices, they were hearing things, they killed somebody because, and then they came out of it, and like, those people will legitimately have cases like that where they can use insanity. But this dude, I mean, they literally have videos of him in his house, drugged people having relations with paid individuals in the house. Like, there's, and that's just one of the videos. Plus, there's all of the testimonies of everything that has been going on. Like, first of all, this might be a little bit of stretch, but if you seriously have, like, extreme mental illnesses, you're not going to be able to plan these huge big parties at your houses. Like, you're not going to be able to manage to do all of this stuff to plan these events and put these together and hire all these people. Like, if you're that deep into mental illness, you're probably having a hard time even brushing your teeth and taking a shower and going to sleep and eating food. Like, you're not going to be able to be functional unless maybe he's taking some other stuff. But it would be really hard for him to make that insanity plea, because he doesn't, like, in conversation, he doesn't come off as crazy. Like, you can hear that he has sensibility in him. Like, he's not completely out of it. Like, this is probably not the best example, but I mean, we've all heard Kanye West when he was on his things and he was talking crazy. Like, he was talking crazy, and people are like, what is he okay? Like, people are actually questioning his sanity. But for the most part, when you hear Diddy speaking, he sounds coherent. He sounds delusional, but more of the sense of rich delusional rather than, like, I don't actually have my brain functioning properly type of delusional. So I don't imagine that he'll be able to get away with it on that excuse, especially because it, again, involved a minor multiple times. So I don't really see him getting very far with that.
Yeah. So here's the thing, right? And I'm gonna go back to what Jenny said about Kim. Let's look at it logically for a second. P. Diddy has had mad endorsements. He's done managed mad artists. He's done movies. He's been in commercials. He's been in cameos. He's done choreography. He's done anything that will require you to have some type of cognitive reasoning where you're just like, you can't be mentally you know what I'm saying? You can't be walking around like this and doing play-by-play Super Bowl performances or whatever the case may be, as long as he's been doing this for how, like, and then try to switch up and then say later on, oh, I lost so many people in my life that I just couldn't help it anymore, and I just broke, and then I just started drinking, and it just got excessive, and I started smoking, and then I started experimenting, and then it just did something. Nobody is trying to hear that.
Cut it out.
I'm not gonna lie, that's some like high school shit. That's honestly one of my biggest pet peeves is when people go off on some long tangent excusing their poor behavior because of insert long list of my history and all the people that have ever wronged me and everything that has ever gone awry in my life, and I didn't get what I wanted, and so you should feel bad for me because I hate that behavior so much. If he actually used that, that is so cringy. I'm like, I feel bad going there, but like, there are literally people that survived the Holocaust that still have better mental capacity and more clarity of mind than some of these people that have supposedly suffered through so much. I'm like, trauma, yes, it can have an effect on your psyche, especially if it's something that you're regularly experiencing. Somebody that is subjected to regular abuse is going to have mental health trauma. But experiencing loss repeatedly is hard to go through, but it doesn't do that type of damage to your brain. Like, there obviously people have different levels of being able to handle different emotions, but your brain does not actually become dysfunctional if people around us die or leave us. Like, unless you're in a extremely traumatic like accident where you watch like 30 people die all around you, death doesn't do that to us, because as animals, as mortal mammal animals, we naturally respond sympathetically and empathetically to people who pass away, but we're also designed to eventually get past it, because we are creatures that live decades, and for our minds to be hung up on a certain person or place or thing for an extended period of time, that is a dysfunction. Normal behavior is to be able to move on from that. So for him to be saying that he's mentally ill because he's dealt with loss in his life, it's rich. It's absolutely ridiculous and definitely deceptive. Like, he's just trying to shift the blame, shift our eyes, make us not look, pretend, try with the last bit of time that he has left to defend himself, to convince people that, like, oh, well, you have to feel bad for me because this was a situation I went through. This isn't something I did to anyone. I didn't commit a crime. This was just the manifestation of my trauma. Like, oh, please. It's pretty frustrating. I've never been a fan of that type of stuff. I'm like, we have far more handle and ability to manipulate our own behavior for the better. Our action, like, we have way more control over our actions than people want to admit. We are very powerful, capable creatures, and so it always annoys the hell out of me when I hear criminals trying to say, well, I didn't have a choice because my emotions. Okay, no.
I want to go back to something that Jenny and Sean said. And it always raised a red flag to me, right? Because, you know, Sydney, when you have information that can expose or put a specific person under a negative light, you know what's going to happen. It's going to make other people pay attention to it. So, like how you express the way that we disrespect the planet. Not only that, you go into detail about what it is that is being done to cause the harm to it. And you're directly pointing your finger at where the cause is coming from, because there's always a source. What happened to Kim has always been a mystery to people. Because, like she said, that man had a casket built for her.
For Kim
If that
Kardashian?
No, Kim Porter. Kim Porter.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait, what is happening? Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah, he had a casket built for her. And like that was some of the, I forgot about that. That was some creepy shit. Creepy as shit. But you know, they found a way to turn it into, oh, it's just a coincidence. That was weird. That was fucking weird. I don't know a single human being on this earth that prepares a coffin for their spouse or loved one months before the person actually passes away. That's crazy to me. So that, in addition to something that Sean has said about how people just turn their eye to the things that they see, you know what type of mind do you have to have? You can't be slow. You can't be remedial. You see what's happening and you make a decision on what is right and what is wrong, and then you decide if your moral compass is enough to make you do the right thing, or you use your thought process at the time to say, all right, either I'm going to do the right thing or I'm going to ignore it and pretend like it didn't happen. You're not a dummy is not going to be able to just do that. So I say all that to say the way that Diddy was able to make the money he did, the way he was able to navigate these streets to do business, whether or not it was on the up and up or it was kind of shady, you can't be a psycho. You're not going to tell me you were mentally unstable, making $1 million deals. You were mentally unstable when you were getting all of these artists signed and you were getting all of these people to go to these parties. You have to plan the parties. You have to find people to scout. That's a whole nother thing. To be able to get people on board to go out, scout for you, bring them back, and integrate them into your sick, twisted desires. That doesn't sound mentally unstable to me. That just sounds like a demon who had a blueprint that they wanted to execute, but allegedly, of course. Jenny is talking some real conspiracy stuff. I don't know if we have a clone, which is funny because there was a Netflix show called Tyrone. They killed Tyrone or they cloned Tyrone. And Jamie Foxx actually was the one who played in that movie. Don't get me started on whether or not people are cloned, and that could go on a whole another hour, but I don't know, man. I'm not buying that argument. If that's what they want to do, go ahead. But I can imagine if they, because I'm looking at, all right, so if you're trying to play this I'm crazy thing, they're going to have a professional to look at you and to talk to you and examine you, and they're going to determine whether or not you have the characteristics of someone who doesn't have it all together. Which is funny because I did a reaction video to a serial killer he killed his mom. No, he killed his sister. His sister was like 3 years old or some shit. True story. He killed his sister, and I believe he got out this year or he got out last year. I don't know how the hell they let him out. He was around 10, 12 or something like that when he killed her. And they released him, or he should be getting released. And they had a professional interview him. And let me tell you something. And I brought this up for a reason. The young man is very articulate. He's Jason Matthews articulate. He's Sydney linguist articulate. He's Sean articulate. He's articulate like the 17 people here watching. He's articulate like a person who has degrees. He's articulate like someone who has doctorates. He's not a ghetto imbecile who just walks around with his pants hanging off from him. He knows how to talk to you. He knows his books. He knows his literature. He knows how to reverse psychology. He knows how to touch your heartstrings. That's the type of guy he is. But he killed his sister. And during the interview, it was a very, very riveting interview. I advise you check it out. I wish I could remember the title I had for it. YouTube got mad at me. But I say all that to say this. Sean Puffy Combs is nowhere remotely near the level that he was. Sean Combs does not have the type of communication skills that this guy does. But even then, based on everything that he has done over his career, I'm not convinced. I was more convinced at the kid saying he doesn't know why he killed his sister at 3 years old. I was more convinced at him and his explanation than I'm convinced at this. That should tell you something about this whole thing. But these are different cases. I have looked into the eyes of a clone. They are soulless, just like Jamie Foxx. I ain't gonna hold you. I have never seen a clone. But I have seen people who have that soulless look in their eye. That look where, you can tell that demonic spirits or there's something else occupying that space. You can see it on them. You can see it in their countenance. You can see it in how they walk. You can see it in their skin.
What?
Mark Zuckerberg, excuse me.
He has that deadpan, like yes, I am a human. I have real human emotions. See? Like, go back to your cave, creepy.
Hey. Question. What would be necessary? How could someone in his position possibly prove without a shadow of a doubt that the reasons behind everything that he's done has something to do with being unstable mentally? What would you have to do to be able to prove that in court?
Oops, sorry, For them to prove that he wasn't unstable and that he committed these crimes with knowingly, one, they would probably use some sort of like mental assessment to establish his IQ or whatever. I don't know what metric they would prefer to use. IQ's not super clinical, but I imagine they probably use some sort of mental health profile for him, possibly like a personality type evaluation to examine if he has a personality disorder. I imagine for this trial, they'll probably have him talk to a psychologist, or at least they'll have one present, because then they can get that question answered, whether or not he does appear to be sane or not. I also imagine they'd probably ask him a series of questions to, just like what Panther said, to show if he can decipher the difference between what's right and wrong. They also might do other sorts of like cognitive tests. They're testing their vision, their hearing, their reflexes and stuff like that. I don't really know how in depth they go into it, but I know they do similar things for psych evaluations, just for mental health diagnoses. So I imagine if they're trying to evaluate him for mental health issues as a part of this trial, they probably would do some sort of profile like that for him. They also would likely use other witnesses, so people in his life, family members, friends, whatever. If he has servants or something, people that work for him that they can attest to his behavior, report on how he acts, his patterns of behavior, responding to things, socialization. So if they were going to go into depth to decide whether or not he was mentally fit or not, I imagine that's probably what they're going to do. Ask people around him, have him do evaluations, and have an expert kind of examine his speech patterns and the way he talks and thinks and sees things,
Good assessment, and shout out to Sean, man, for throwing that out there too. This is going to be interesting. It really is, because I already know they're going to try everything in their power to get rid of as much damaging evidence as possible. That's the goal. I honestly do not believe in any shape, form, or fashion that you're going to be able to get rid of everything. You might be able to get away with some of this stuff. You're not getting away with all of it. I mean, come on, man. It's been 15 years or more. There's no way you're going to be able to throw all that out. What are you going to say? Statute of limitations on some stuff? What are you really going to be able to do to null and void every single thing that you found? We don't even know how much they got.
I found something interesting on so they are going to evaluate his mental capacity, because that was a key part of his defense, because he was saying that he made those decisions to do those things because of his decreased mental capacity. They wanted to call on an expert forensic psychiatrist that would speak to his diminished capacity, which they filed on April 27th. But on the 29th, it got rejected because they didn't submit the paperwork in time. So I guess they're not going to have that specific It says they pointed out that the psychiatrist did not examine Combs, leaving his opinions based on records and evidence that has been redacted from the April 27th filing. So I wonder how that's going to impact his ability to argue, his diminished capacity, if he doesn't even have the witness who was going to vouch for that.
The only people I think is going to be on his side is his family, because I'm more or less interested in knowing how many people he's going to be willing to throw under the bus to get the heat off of him. That's where I'm at with it. That man is going to have to be the greatest actor in the world. And quite frankly, if you saw Raising in the Sun, he's not going to do very well. I'm sorry. There has never been a acting role that I've seen him in that can get him out of convincing a professional that he is willing, capable, and able to stand trial wholeheartedly. He isn't missing neurons. He's not missing a membrane or anything like that. He's fully capable of being there, fully functional. Pass them cocktails around to the chat, brother.
I guess what he could do is he could just show up to the trial on drugs and then be like, see, diminished capacity.
I know, right? I know. And also, what was his sentences like, right? He because he's been behind bars for a while. So you think that's going to come in the testimony? You know, what was his behavior like in jail? Was he off his rocker? Was he a well-behaved prisoner? Did he get unruly? Was he acting out? Did he show any signs of being a pervert or danger? I would like, yeah, I would like to believe they're going to look at all of this stuff. When they really want you to go to jail, or they really want to make an example, they're not leaving anything off the table. Nothing. And I don't see them wasting a moment or a single opportunity to throw him under the cell if they can do it. If you got the right person involved, of course. So I would say good luck, but that's pretty much what I got from that video. There's no suit and tie. He's not going to be dressed like that. He's going to pretty much be wearing regular clothes. All the information that's going to come from this case is going to be outsourced through a third party that's going to be there. So there's no cameras, paparazzi, none of that. And yeah, he said, nah, he's not taking the plea deal. He's going to fight it, which means to me, all bets are off. A plea deal to me, it sounds like what they're saying is, look, we got this. Let's sit down and talk. We got this, but we're willing to willing to make a deal with you, or you can go ahead and try to fight what we got. But if you fight what we got and you lose, it's going to be a lot worse. And I'm gathering that he's so arrogant and so cocky, which, again, to me, it shows that there's nothing mentally wrong with you because you're weighing your options. I mean, you're sitting there with them right now and they're telling you, this is what we got. And you have to decide, do I want to risk it? Or do that right there tells me alone that you can stand in trial. But you say, all right, nah, I'm not about to do that. We're going to go ahead and go to war. Okay. So that's where we at. And I'm going to stay with my eyes open on this case because I want to know what comes out, what happens, what was said. I'm waiting for the witness statements. I'm waiting for all of it. I rarely, that the dead don't forget part is something a little bone chilling about that, right? Because I think there's some evidence from some deceased people that might still be looming around too. We're gonna find out. But for whatever reason, he feels confident enough that he can fight this. Why? Do you have any final insight, any final thoughts on this right now?
I found something kind of funny. I looked into his behavior in the previous jail situation just out of curiosity, and apparently he was nothing but nice. He got along with everyone there, which I guess I'm not too surprised because do you really want to cause problems in jail, especially when you're that rich? But I did find that he's apparently jealous and upset that Luigi Mangione, the one that killed the executive of United Healthcare, I think it was, that he's getting more attention than the Diddy trial. And he's jealous. I thought that was so funny.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So your man wanted attention.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially.
Yeah. He's also apparently trying to he's trying to file a claim so they can't use any of the video evidence that they have on him, which is kind of hilarious because it's like the most clear evidence they have. So I'm like, we see what you're trying to do. Like, you don't even have a good reason for why you wouldn't even want it to be used, beside the fact that it clearly shows you doing illegal activities in the video. So I find it funny to hear him try and argue his way out of that one and try to say that it was for something other than trying to remove incriminating evidence.
Yeah, another thing is a lot of his argument is that some of these people were willing participants. You know what I'm saying? He's not even trying to take ownership of that. He's telling the people, look, man, they signed up for this. They wanted to be, yeah. They consented to thousands of baby oil bottles and slip and slides and all that, huh?
I mean,
right.
Maybe he was practicing for prison.
What, so I gotta sit here and sit alone like I'm fucking Stephen Langford?
Yo. You said he was on his best behavior.
Yeah. He got what he wanted out of prison, I guess. Like, man, he was trading he apparently he was trading cans of fish. I'm like, we all know what he was getting with his cans of fish. He was restocking up on lube.
Talking about take that. Oh yeah, they took it. They took it, didn't they?
I've also heard people making a joke that they have to make sure that he's not able to take the lube with him to jail, because then he'll just be able to slide through the bars to get out.
Yo, I wonder why they, like, with the whole shoestring thing. Are they trying to imply that he might be a risk?
I wondered about that. My assumption was that it was like in jail they don't allow you to have shoelaces because you could hang yourself with it or somebody else with it. But I don't know why they wouldn't want him to have it in the courtroom, because it would be pretty wild if somebody tried to like commit suicide via shoelace in front of everyone. Like I can't imagine that would actually go anywhere. But I think that's what that's for. Just to prevent strangulation of some sort. But I don't know. I don't know why else you wouldn't want them to have shoelaces. Let's see.
Jenny up here trying to start a riot. I'm gonna tell you, I'll be honest with you, Jen. I don't know whether or not he's guilty or innocent. I never looked into the trial, the case, the evidence. If he is innocent, then that's diabolical work. That's real diabolical. That means that everybody that was involved, they relentlessly went out of their way to systematically ensure that that man did not see the daylight again.
It keeps them from running away, because if they can't tie their shoes are going to fall off if they try and run. That makes sense.
Well, shit. Shit, just kick your shoes off and keep running.
Barefoot, though? I guess if you're desperate, you're going to do what you can.
I'm from the country. I walk around without shoes on all the time, so I'm comfortable. I can do it, but I digress. So R. Kelly is innocent, but Bill Cosby is guilty. Look, I don't put none past not a single human being. Everybody has the ability to be a satanic, sick person. So whoever should be in jail should be in jail. Whoever should be free, and whoever is responsible for injustices should be held accountable for the crap that they do to people that don't deserve to be where they are. I always looked up to that man in a certain way. The Cosby Show was a great representation of what a multifaceted household should look like when you have two parents that are working. It's no masculine, feminine bull. It's just man, woman, children following under the tutelage of their parents. Nobody's, and it just they always find a way to put you in the ugliest light at eventually. I don't know, but if he's guilty, let him stay where he is. Now, as far as R. Kelly concerned, unless something else come out that shows that he shouldn't be where he is, I mean, and they showed that during the golden days of the Cosby Show, the National SAT schools for black youths in this new time. That's what I'm saying. When you had healthy TV, when it actually taught you something, and it wasn't all guns and shooting and minutes, kids were like, and we talked about that before too, about the different eras of parenting and who had a better system in terms of bringing their kids up. Yeah, we spoke about that before. And I always said, like, TV to a certain degree does have an effect on the way that we develop. The older we get, some people actually emulate what they see on camera. I got something that I'm gonna be talking about either, I think, tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow night. That shit is crazy. So, ladies, if you sensitive, do not, because when I first heard about that, I was like, nah, we're not about to let that slide.
I'm very curious to know what it is.
It's a stupid. I'm gonna tell. All right, I'm gonna tell you right now. It's a trend where women use a Down syndrome woman's face to record, basically prostitute themselves on social media. So dudes are essentially paying for content that has Down syndrome faces attached to people that aren't Down syndrome.
I just saved a video I saw on YouTube to watch for later that was saying that. I haven't watched it yet, but I did see that. I'm very curious.
Yeah, that, y'all are tripping out here. I ain't even gonna get into y'all shit tonight. I got y'all though, because like, yeah, come on, man. But yeah, hold on. Similarly, academic performances dropped during the days of Roseanne and Beavis and Butthead. You telling me there's no similarities, there's no coincidences? The second the nuclear home started getting or going down this decline in quality, as soon as people stopped attending to their kids and they stopped paying attention to them and going to school, the TV shows got more ridiculous and more ratchet. The more sexually explicit it got. This is the transition. It's just been nothing but a systematic transition. Of course, that's just my opinion. You know what I'm saying? I was scroll TikTok late at night and see children doing weird shit for views and gifts. Hey, that's exactly what you should be doing.
That mom, I remember watching all that stuff about her where she was posting, she was having her daughter post pictures of her outfits and stuff like that. And she was putting her daughter in risque clothing where her own mother was putting her daughter in like toddler appropriate clothing. And she was basically confronted because a bunch of people told her like, hey, you have known child offenders watching your content. And she was like, no. And then all she did was eliminate people's ability to put up comments, but she still puts up the videos, even though she knows that over 400,000 people save her videos, and most of them are men, of her daughter in skimpy clothing, or like eating popsicles in a bikini and stuff like that. And I'm like, no. Mm-mm. We need to have a whole episode on these toxic TikTok moms. I've been hearing about quite a number of them recently that need attention.
Yeah.
And not the
Absolutely.
type of attention they want, the type of attention that gets their kids the help they need.
That's a fact. That's an absolute fact. I'm gonna jot that one down. I know I
was just writing it too, so perfect timing.
All right, let me see here. I'm gonna copy and paste this so I don't forget it. Lock that in. I've been scheduling for streams all this week. I didn't get to Wednesday yet, so that's perfect. I don't believe I did Thursday yet either, but I'm gonna lock those. Matter of fact, I might as well just do Wednesday, Thursday, and next Saturday and Sunday too, automatic. Actually, we are pretty much locked in all week for real on everything. I already got Monday, Tuesday. Yeah. This one right here though, I know people were wondering what was going on. This is currently what's happening with the Diddy case. I believe it's supposed to start around, hold on. Why is this happening? What did I do? I shouldn't have clicked on the clap. Now I can't go back. Hold on a second. I did a thing. Diddy's trial is supposed to be, I believe, this week coming up or the week after. So the next stories that come out, I will definitely keep you in contact.
His trial's set for the 5th.
The 5th, right. That's what I thought. All right.
We'll definitely have to do the TikTok social media mom thing with Jason because I'm very interested in hearing his responses.
Oh man, let me see. What did I'm gonna have to look at that one. I got that one already set. I might swap that one out. I'm trying to figure out how. When I went over here to copy and paste this, I don't know how this happened. Hold on a second. Let me see something. Yeah, this is really crazy. It's not letting me. I got stuck over here. This don't normally happen. I got stuck up there trying to copy. All right, there it is. Why did this take so long to just pop up like this? Yeah. At some point, I'm gonna upgrade this laptop, man. I'm grateful for it. It's done wonders for me, but I'm gonna have to get this right. I'm back though. Hold on, let me highlight some of these comments. I'm back. Let's see what we got here. Boom, boom. Shout out to everybody who pulled up too. I appreciate y'all feedback. I thank you, for hanging out with us and all that. We got a full weekend for y'all, man. A full weekend.
Always love Jenny's commentary.
Yeah, I know. Shout out to her. Shout out to my brother Panther. Tomorrow we are back. It's gonna be me and my partner. And yeah, it's going down 11 a.m. Eastern Standard for the King's Morning Table, and then later on that evening, 8 o'clock. It won't be 9 o'clock. It'll be 8 o'clock for the after hour show. So make sure you lock in. We about to get up out of here. You enjoy the rest of your evening. I sure as hell will. Until then, real quick, if y'all have, let me put this up real quick. I know I'm long-winded, but if y'all have any topics, want to join a panel,
Have
or
poetry
anything
to
like that, exactly, poetry to share, email me, hit me up, shoot me a private message. Let them know how they can reach out to you too.
Yeah. I mostly use the social media site I use the most is Blue Sky. So if you want to communicate with me there, you can. My tag is the Science Squid Poetry. I also have a lot of my poems up on the website All Poetry. And it's the same tag, I think. Or no, it's just my name, Sydney Lindquist. So if you wanted to find my poetry there, you can. And then if you want to communicate with us more, or if you want to, if you're a creator and want to kind of join our community, I also have a Discord for anyone that wants to kind of talk to us, or if you are a writer creator and kind of want to network. We also have a lot of other poets and writers that come on our show in that group too. So yeah, if you're interested, feel free to reach out to us and let us know, and I can add you in there. Other than that, I'm here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I love to talk all science. I talk history, politics, cultural. I just love to examine issues in society. And then, as you know, I also write. I write poetry, I write books, and I am an artist. So I share those on Friday with you guys. So thank you for watching, and I really appreciated being part of this discussion with everyone. And thank you, Jenny, for all your commentary.
That being said, man, this is Assembly Excellence Podcast signing out, man. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. Do me a solid. We're up out of here.
Good job.
Peace.